I caught my husband deleting my college acceptance emails. His excuse was that I don't need higher education since he makes enough already. When I said I'm still going, he called my parents and they showed up with boxes saying I should move back if I'm going to abandon my family. I said I would be in touch about the children and arrangements for him to see them, but right now, I couldn't be around him. As we were leaving, he tried to physically block the door, saying I couldn't take his children. It was only when I threatened to call the police that he finally moved aside, though not before warning me that I would regret this. We've been at Sandra's for 2 days now. She's been incredibly supportive, though I can tell she's heartbroken about her son's behavior. The kids are confused but adjusting okay to the sudden change. I've tried to explain in age-appropriate terms that mommy and daddy need some time apart to figure things out. I met with a lawyer yesterday who confirmed that Jake's hiding of assets, especially money that came from my inheritance, wouldn't look good in a divorce proceeding. She advised me to gather as much financial documentation as possible and to keep detailed records of any further interactions with Jake. I still can't believe it's come to this. A month ago, my biggest concern was whether I could balance nursing school with being a mom. Now I'm contemplating divorce and uncovering years of financial deception. The lawyer asked if I wanted to try mediation before filing for divorce, and I've agreed to give it a try. Jake and I are scheduled to meet with a mediator next week. In the meantime, I'm focusing on keeping things stable for Emily and Lucas while preparing for nursing school, which starts in just a few weeks. I never thought I'd be starting this new chapter in my life under these circumstances, but I'm determined to create a better future for myself and my children, with or without Jake. Update 3. It's been a month since my last update, and so much has changed. The mediation session with Jake went about as well as you might expect, which is to say, not well at all. Jake showed up with his own lawyer, who immediately took an aggressive stance, claiming that I had abandoned the marital home and was keeping the children from their father. This wasn't true. Jake had been seeing the kids regularly at his mother's house, but his lawyer made it sound like I'd kidnapped them. The mediator tried to steer the conversation toward productive territory, but Jake and his lawyer were more interested in making accusations than finding solutions. Jake even claimed that I had brainwashed his mother against him. When we finally got to the topic of finances, Jake's lawyer insisted that the separate account was perfectly legal and that Jake had every right to manage our money as he saw fit. When I brought up that much of it came from my inheritance, the lawyer dismissed it, saying that inheritances can mingle with marital assets once they're placed in joint accounts. My lawyer countered that Jake's deliberate concealment of the funds indicated intent to defraud, and things devolved from there. After an hour of back and forth with no progress, the mediator suggested we end the session and consider whether mediation was the right approach for our situation. Outside the mediator's office, Jake asked to speak to me alone. Against my lawyer's advice, I agreed, thinking maybe he'd be more reasonable without the lawyers present. "This doesn't have to be so difficult," he said. "Just come home, forget about nursing school, and we can go back to normal." When I told him there was no going back after what I discovered, his demeanor changed completely. He threatened that if I pursued divorce, he would fight for full custody of the children, claiming that my school schedule made me an unfit mother. He said he would make sure I didn't get a penny of his money. I walked away without responding, but his threats left me shaken. I told my lawyer everything, and she advised me to document the threat and move forward with filing for divorce rather than continuing with mediation. She also suggested we file for temporary orders regarding custody and support.